So let's look at how we can move our Dropbox store to an encrypted volume. The first thing we're going to do is actually create that encrypted image. It's very simple to do, natively supported within OS X. So fire up the disk utility. You can either do that from Spotlight or it's in the utilities folder in your applications. And what we're going to do at the top there, you'll see a button marked New Image. So let's select that. And in that, we're going to find somewhere to store our encrypted image. I've got something called images, so we'll call it there. Save it there. I'm going to call it sec store for secure store. And then I'm going to give the volume a name. There we go. I'm going to set the size. I'm going to go for custom. And I'm going to go for a 5 GB volume. Obviously make sure that's big enough for all your Dropbox data. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set the encryption. So I'll select the encryption button. I'll select 256-bit AES. There we go. And I'm going to change the image format so it's a sparse disk image. You can leave it as a normal read-write disk image if you want. The sparse one will grow as you add data to it rather than it just allocating the whole 5 GB in this instance all at once. So once you've done that, hit create. It'll pop up and ask for a password. So enter a reasonable password. Now remember, if you lose this password, you'll lose access to this image, so it's very important that you remember it. So enter the password, click OK, and off it will go to create the image. There we go, that's done. So if we have a look in our Finder now, you'll see that we have a volume called Secure Store. Okay, so there we go, we have a look at the info. You see that's 5 GB in size and it's now encrypted. So what we'll do now is we'll move on to look at how to redirect the Dropbox folder and store it actually on that encrypted image. Right, for this next piece, what we're going to do now is actually redirect our Dropbox folder into the secure and encrypted image that we created earlier. The first thing I want to show you though is just how to get that image automatically mounted and log on. Very simple to do. Go into your preferences, find your users and groups, select your user and pop into login items. And what we're going to do is actually drag that image that we created earlier. There we go, and we're going to drag it into our login items. There we go. So what will happen is now every time we log in, that image will automatically be mounted. There we go, we can get rid of that. So the next thing we need to do then is actually look at that redirection. It's very relatively simple to do. First thing we need to do is quit out of Dropbox. So we select it on the menu there, quit Dropbox. Okay, so pop into Finder, find your existing Dropbox folder, there's mine, and I'm going to rename it and call it Dropbox Backup. There we go. So we've created a backup of our Dropbox folder. So what we're going to do now is unlink Dropbox from this computer. It's very simple to do. Fire up Dropbox. It says our folder's missing, which it is because we've renamed it. So click relink, and bizarrely what it will do is actually say, do you want to unlink? So we'll say yes. And then it will take us into the Dropbox setup. So at this point, quit out of Dropbox again. There we go. So what we're going to do now is create this symbolic link pointing to our secure storage. So that's done from terminal. So fire up terminal. There we go. And you can see that's the command that we need to use to actually create that symbolic link. Okay, so enter that command, make sure that you get the volume name correct. There we go, and then you can close down terminal. So back in the home drive, you'll see that I've got a new link now to our Dropbox. If I open it, you should see that it's actually redirected to our secure and encrypted image. Okay, so one other thing you might want to do, especially if you have a lot of data, is take the backup that we made earlier and just copy that information into that new secure image. I don't have much data, so it shouldn't take too long. Okay, that data's now copied. So the next thing we're going to do is just relink Dropbox. So fire at Dropbox. There we go. I already have an account, so you need to log into it. There we go. It'll say that we've already got a setup and you want to use previous settings, so just say yes to that. You can skip the tool and finish. And when it opens the folder, you'll see that actually it's gone to our secure storage rather than to the local unsecured version. So just a quick point on that, if you look in your home folder, of course, you'll still see the unsecured backup copy. So, you know, just remember that if you want to make this secure, you need to remove that unsecured backup copy as well. You'll notice that Dropbox will go through and re-index your files. If you've got a lot, can take a few minutes to do. Yeah, okay. Well, that's it. We've now got our Dropbox on a secure disk image that's encrypted. So hopefully you found that useful.